What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm going to be going over these 6 best men's winter essentials for this cold season. Now obviously I'm kind of in the Midwest here in Ohio and it's really cold out. We got a ton of snow, and obviously those of you that are in, up in this area in New York, that sort of thing, are kind of experiencing a ton of snow right now. So how do you stay stylish? How do you stay fashion forward in winter conditions like this and stay dry, warm, and still look like a badass? I'm going to show you how with the 6 best essentials that you need this winter. Starting with number 1, which is jackets. So you've got a couple different options, and most of these things I'm going to kind of be going over like a dress up option when you really need to look professional and have that kind of dressy look. And then I'm going to give a second option, which is essentially sort of like your days where it's really cold out, or it's like a blizzard, there's like 7 inches of snow on the ground. So we'll start with the first one here, which is the dress up jacket. Gentlemen, welcome the pea coat. You cannot go wrong with a wool blend jacket such as a pea coat like this. Now they come in a ton of different material blends. They come in a ton of different styles. You can get single breast, double breast. This is just a single breasted, simple wool blend pea coat. It is long enough to go kind of below my bottom, so it gives that nice kind of car jacket pea coat length. But what's really cool is, as you'll notice, this has a lot of different colors in it. So I went with something that was kind of a gray mixed with some pattern, and also has a little bit of black, and it does have that pop of maroon in there. Now what's great about this is it is extremely versatile. So this jacket here can be worn with almost every color in the wardrobe. So that's why I typically will recommend guys starting with either like a navy blue, a camel color, a gray color, and even just a black color. But if you can find something like this, it has that pattern, it definitely gets a lot of attention. I mean, people compliment this jacket all the time because it doesn't look like the jackets that everybody else are wearing. So this is actually a jacket from Tahari, and I actually picked this guy up online. However, I'll put a link in the description below so that you can pick up this jacket if you like, or check out some of their other styles. But there's other companies, like H&M has fantastic selection at a great price. Express has some great options too. So just kind of do your research and find which one best fits you. But this is kind of the classic dress style. Pop the collar, doesn't matter what you're wearing with it really, it just dresses it up even if it's just a simple t-shirt. So pick yourself up a nice wool blend pea coat and stay warm and stay stylish this winter. Now the second type of jacket is for when it's super cold out. And for that, gentlemen, nothing beats a good old fur hooded jacket like this parka here by Nautica. What's really great about a jacket like this is that it is quilted and it has down on the inside, and it's just incredibly thick. It's incredibly warm and cozy. It's below the bottom length, so it kind of keeps your butt warm, that sort of thing. Has that nice tapered parka style to it, even though it's big and quilted. But this fur hood, I'm telling you, when you have to put it up in the winter, like when it's really cold and snowing outside, this sucker keeps you warm. So definitely try to find something of this capacity. There's a lot of different companies, a lot of different stores that sell them. And to be honest, this is a real fur hood, but you don't actually have to get real fur. You can get faux fur, it's just as warm. And they're typically a lot less expensive too. However, you can't go wrong with really any one that you get because it's all about the style. And the colors, again, you'll notice this is gray. I tend to gravitate towards gray in a lot of things in my wardrobe. However, this is great for this because, again, it's just versatile. I mean, black, gray, possibly like a navy blue. When you get into like the greens and the, mustard coloreds, like they kind of get a little contrasty. So get something that's pretty neutral like this, but something like this is going to be perfect for those days when it's like a blizzard or when there's like 6-7 inches of snow on the ground. Find something like that has that fur on the hood. It's just kind of that style, but just getting like a nice parka like that that's well insulated and keeps you warm. Now moving on to the second top winter essential for men, which is boots. Now when it comes to boots, you've got a lot of different options when it comes to brands and styles and everything. So kind of like we did with jackets, we're going to start with sort of a dress boot that can be worn in the winter. So we'll start with that one first. And honestly, guys, in my opinion, there is no better choice for this than Thursday boots. Now, this is the Thursday boot Captain. This is the Arizona Adobe color. And this is part of their rugged and resilient line. So what that means is this leather material on here it's not shiny, it doesn't have a sheen to it, but it still looks gorgeous and it has a fantastic color to it. Now, Thursday boots, what's fantastic about these is that they are of the top quality when it comes to boots. I mean, these guys are so freaking tough and durable, it's not even funny. The Captain is a beautiful kind of narrow profiled cap toe boot. And what's really good is you get the Goodyear welt on here. So it's going to be stitched all the way around. So it's going to be completely waterproof. This upper is completely leather. Everything's going to be just fantastic for stomping around in the slush, the snow, the rain, whatever. And then a lot of people seem to neglect the bottoms of these things because these things, don't sleep on these. This bottom is extremely durable. Again, you can see the stitching around there. But it's going to be kind of give you these nice studs on this rubber to give you a really good traction on some of those extra slip days. Beautiful raised leather heel. And again, it's just durable as hell. So like I said, Thursday boots, this is a perfect boot. Something like this is also fantastic, but you just can't go wrong. I mean, for right around that $200 mark, getting a boot that you can wear and abuse and just absolutely put through the ringer, and then, you know, eventually in a couple years, if you need to get them resold or something, you can, and it's not going to cost you nearly as much. These are a fantastic option for that. However, my recommendation is get them before you need them. So if you want to wear them in the winter, I mean, obviously we're kind of in the dead of winter now, so if you buy them now, it's going to be a little challenging, but these will take a hot minute to break in because of their durable construction. So Thursday boots, Captain, you can really go with anything in their line. I mean, they've got fantastic options. You can get a chukka like the Scout. You can get just kind of a traditional rugged and resilient boot, such as the President. But another thing too that they have, like, so for example, with the Captain here, they actually have what they call a Storm King bottom, which is even a crazier, more durable bottom, and it has thicker lugs and everything like that. However, if you really want to just keep it to that classy profile, pick something like the Captain because it's a narrow profile. It's going to be a lot more versatile in a lot of your outfits, and I love this brown color that it came in because again, it's versatile and it goes with almost every color that you could think of, and it's still going to be durable because of these studded bottoms. Now, what's great about Thursday boots also, if you did have 6 inches of snow and you were caught out in the snow and those things, it's not going to be a problem at all. Your feet are going to be fine. The boots are going to be fine. I mean, it's absolutely not going to wreck those things because trust me, they are so durable. However, if you are in one of those areas where you tend to get like maybe a foot of snow or something like that, or you're just in an environment where it's like incredibly cold and you're like single digits all the time, you know, the Thursday boots are going to be great for putting through the ringer and stomping through snow, slush, whatever. However, if you're going to be outside for a decently long period of time, they may not be the best just because there's no insulation, right? Like they're just leather lined, classy boots. So your feet might get a little cold in them as opposed to something like this. Which is the Columbia Fairbanks boot. Now, you can see these are super thick. They have thin slit on the inside, and these are made by Columbia. So they've got that reflective material on the inside that keeps your feet warm. Now, what's funny is as a real estate agent, I have to be out on showings no matter what the weather is. And when we've had like 6-7 inches of snow here, I'm out trudging through snow trying to get into houses and stuff like that. And these suckers are fantastic for that. But what really stinks is then when I'm done and I come back to the office, my feet will get just unbelievably hot wearing these because they're so insulated. So I recommend something like this. If you're going to be outdoors a majority of the day, pick something like this over the Thursday boots. However, if you're just going to be, in an environment where you're going to be in an office setting and then you're going to have to just step outside, the Thursday boots are going to be perfect. But if you're going to be outside for long periods of time, definitely go with something like this. And again, I love gray, super versatile. They also come in, I think it's called a Fairbanks Rover, which is an entire leather one instead of this Cordura material. So obviously these aren't nearly as fashion forward and they're a lot bigger and chunkier than the Thursday boots. However, they're extremely practical and they still have a great profile to them, and nobody's going to think you're a weirdo wearing these things. And they have super good, traction on the bottom with these soles, extremely durable, extremely grippy. And like I said, these are just super waterproof. I mean, I've literally had water up to the top here basically, and totally dry, no problems. So like I said, if you're going to be in a blizzard or you're just going to be outside for long periods of time, pair up a parka with something like this. Nobody's going to judge you because it's a blizzard outside. So that's it for boots. Like I said, kind of a dressier option for you, and then kind of that like worst case scenario option for when you get a ton of snow or it's just super cold outside. Now, third on the list of men's winter essentials are beanies. Now, when it comes to beanies, again, kind of keeping with the same fashion that we're doing, something that you want to kind of keep in mind is there are different types of hats, different types of beanies. I don't typically recommend guys wear like skull caps because they tend to look a little bit younger than what you're trying to promote, but beanies are in style right now and you really can't go wrong with a nice knit beanie. So again, keeping to true fashion with this video, I'm going to start with kind of a dress up option, which pretty much is just a fine knit beanie, right? Like this thing's, it's not incredibly thick. So if it's like insanely cold outside, this may not be the best option, but this is just a fine knit beanie from H&M. I mean, I think this thing's like $6.99 or maybe $10 or something like that. But again, gray, kind of has some black and white stitching in there, but this just looks good with any of the jackets that I have. So this is gonna look good with a pea coat. This would look good with a parka. Really doesn't matter. However, you just throw it on just like this and you're rocking a nice classy beanie for those cold winter days when you still need to look stylish in between being outside or like when you step out of the car and then going into like the office or something like that. So fine knit beanie, can't go wrong. Very, very stylish, very in style. Now, obviously, if it's super cold outside and you're rocking the thick parka, you got the fur hooded jacket, and it's just absolutely freezing, rock something else like this, which is, these are again knit beanies. The material on here is a lot thicker than what you'd get on the other. And again, I mean, they're in style, they fit your head, but you can tell they're just a lot thicker, and it's definitely gonna keep you warmer on a lot colder days. And usually for beanies, what's great about them is it doesn't really matter what the brand is, but they're pretty much just inexpensive compared to any other article that we're gonna be talking about today. So I've got a black version and I've got a gray version of this one. I mean, you just can't go wrong with having too many of these beanies because they're just versatile and you can just wear them whenever. So like I said, for the beanies, get like a nice tightly wound fine knit beanie that's maybe a little bit thinner, but is gonna have that elevated style for something like when you're rocking a pea coat and maybe these Thursday boots, and then get something that's thicker for when it's really, really cold outside. Now, the fourth men's winter essential that is extremely crucial to have is a pair of gloves. And gloves are so important because obviously your fingers, if you've ever been outside for a long period of time, your fingers will stop to work and they start to sting and it's just like miserable, right? So the first option for kind of that dressy style is a nice pair of leather gloves. Now, what's really cool about these is that these actually serve a dual purpose as also being a nice cool glove because they have thin slit on the inside. So when you throw these puppies on, I mean, you've got a nice leather glove that just looks stylish, sleek, etc. And then it also keeps your hand incredibly warm because of that thin slit. So if you get a pair like this, then you're gonna have something that kind of serves dual purpose so that you can still look super stylish if it's really, really cold outside. But if not, I mean, get something. I've got a pair of Hot Fingers gloves for like, I think they're rated down to like -20 degrees. Those are like overkill and I usually just keep them in my truck. But when it's really, really cold outside, or if I'm like taking the kiddos sledding or something like that, then I'll usually rock those because they, have a different material. They're made out of nylon. They stay waterproof, and I don't want to kind of mess up my leather gloves, so I won't wear those if I'm doing something like that. But get a nice thick pair of gloves for when it's a lot cooler than that, and you'll be good to go. Now we're getting to the end here with the top men's winter essentials this year, and number 5 is the right pair of sunglasses. Gentlemen, these are the Jade Black Spectres, a classic Wayfarer style from Jade Black. Now, what I love about these is that they're polarized. They've got Italian acetate on the frames, stainless steel on the hardware, and then you got Teflon coated screws. And what's really cool is that a style like this with these Spectres is just a nice minimalist frame. And you can rock these with anything that I've shown you, like Peacoat, the big jackets, anything like that. Like, they're gonna look good. But especially in the winter, it's when there's snow on the ground or there's ice and then the sun hits that, get yourself a nice pair of polarized glasses that will keep you from being blinded when you're on the road or just walking. Now guys, what's really cool about these Jade Black Spectres, is that these are easily the best sunglasses for the money. Like I said, Italian acetate on the frames, premium polarized CR39 lenses, Teflon coated screws, and then on some of their other frames, they've got a lot of stainless steel on them as well. I've got the Spectres, and then I've also got a pair of Commanders in the tortoise shell that I rock. But I've been digging these Spectres a lot lately, especially in the winter. Kind of gives you that James Bond look with that Wayfair style, right? And the best part about this is, if you click the link down below in the description, you'll save yourself a beautiful discount on these guys. Use code COLD10 and you'll get yourself a beautiful discount on these. And I'm telling you guys, for the money, I mean, these start at like 45 bucks. You just can't go wrong with Jade Black glasses. So link in the description below, click that, use that code COLD10 and get yourself a discount on the best sunglasses of 2021. And lastly here, with number 6 on the list of men's winter essentials, is the right fragrance. Gentlemen, fragrance is exactly like a pair of shoes. You're not gonna wear flip-flops that you wear in the summer in the winter, because that just doesn't make sense. So why would you do the same with fragrance? Why would you wear something like John Varvatos Artisan Pure that has this light, kind of sweet, beachy vibe in the winter, when this is absolutely kind of a warm weather summer fragrance that reminds you of Miami? Don't wear something that smells sweet. Don't wear something that smells kind of light and airy and, you know, kind of has that like summery vibe to it. Those are what you want to avoid in the winter time. Instead, opt for something like a Blue Day Chanel. And this is a great all year round fragrance, honestly. But opt, you know, even Acqua di Gio Profumo. This one in the summertime is a little hit or miss because it has that patchouli in it and it can kind of come off as a little bit too much in the summer. So rock something like this, which has a little bit more of that aromatic spice to it. Rock something like this in the winter. Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb, that's also another fantastic winter fragrance as well. Pretty much the goal with fragrance is you want to kind of stick to your heavier, you know, more spicy sort of fragrances in the winter than you do in the summer. And then obviously in the summer, save the sweet, sexy, kind of light and airy fragrances for when it's warm out. And also a couple of my favorites that I love to rock year round, but more specifically in fall and winter, are my fragrances from Pete and Pedro. Gentlemen, if you haven't smelled Rebel and you haven't smelled King yet, you are missing out. $49 each for these big bottles of this, and you get some of the best smelling fragrances on the market in an EDP concentration. Rebel's gonna have that inspiration from Creed Aventus, and it's just fantastic. What's great about Rebel is, again, it's kind of like Blue Day Chanel in the sense that you can wear it all year round. However, this is really well complemented in the fall and winter because it does have that kind of heavier, sort of spicy, sexy, sultry smell to it. And then King is the absolute perfect fragrance for when you want to be extra dapper and kind of just project that gentleman vibe, right? This is going to be perfect if you're rocking a pea coat, turtleneck sweater, and you got a badass pair of Thursday boots on, just looking dapper as hell. King is the go-to. Inspired by Creed Green Irish Tweed, you've got a beautiful kind of mossy fragrance that smells absolutely fantastic. And again, year-round, you can't go wrong with this guy, but especially in the fall and winter when that air gets a lot cooler, a lot thinner, this guy hangs around and it smells amazing. Now, for either of these fragrances or anything else from Pete and Pedro, click the link down below in my description. Get yourself a fat discount on anything from Pete and Pedro. These products are absolutely amazing, and their price point as it is phenomenal. So do yourself a favor, click that link in the description below, and gentlemen, save even more money than you already would just buying their products. So that is it for today's video of the 6 best men's winter essentials that you need to be rocking this winter. Hopefully that covered everything for you guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you loved anything in particular or what you want to see more of. And if you like these videos about men's lifestyle, men's fashion, and all of these suggestions for sort of everyday carry tips, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, drop me one of these guys. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you at the next video. So until then, peace.